Hi, welcome back to the Staying Healthy and Preventing COVID 19 Infection During the Current Pandemic video series number 15. This one we're going to discuss what administrations could do to get the countries get back to normality. As I mentioned in the previous video, it is time now almost all countries to listen their tight controls and get some of their activities slowly back to normality. To do this, first must they must come out with the control mentality at all cost. That's history. It hasn't worked. So people had enough of total controls and they need to get their lives back towards normality and to make a livelihood to live and survive. So, in this regard, I'm going to suggest few key simple areas that cost virtually nothing to start with and some expenses in some items. The first thing is to do is to mandate all citizens to wear face masks in publics from the time they leave home and return home. It's essential to develop this culture, at least for the near future, until the entire epidemic is over. This is essential for their own safety as well as infecting and risking other people's lives. So it's an individual responsibility to wear face masks in public at all times. This includes when they go to work, shopping, and all other government officials, including the law enforcement folks. Each family should make their own mask with any material such as clothing they have at home. That is the good way to start the issue. And then gradually this can escalate to the better mask production system, which might take 2 or 3 weeks to accomplish. This homemade face mask may not be 100% effective, but it will be effective to a certain extent that also implement to learn the culture to live with it. Virtually all countries have facilities to produce face masks, and it's a matter of a government to instruct local companies to do so, even if they don't have that inherent initiative. In this regard, the apparel industry can take the leadership, in fact should take the leadership to make millions of face masks that necessary for a given country. So mandate the companies to scale up this production within weeks to supply members needed the countries and to let them sell them at an affordable cost and be available in all shops, even in grocery stores. If necessary, government can subsidize this. It's cheaper than getting mass scale infections. In this regard, government should give the 48-hour notice to the entire country and then start penalizing those who are not wearing face masks in public and issue tickets as a penalty to pay fines later. That can be do that in a nearby post office, but most certainly not collecting money directly by any government authorities or law enforcement. Instead, playing highly effective and annoying messages in cell phone of the public using multi-languages, consider using cell phone messages constructively and proactively. And most of the people in a given country has access to cell phones, whether it's a smartphone or not. For example, this can be rely on simply sending the diagrams and instruction how to create face masks at home. This can be done immediately. I understand this was sent to the authorities yesterday by a friend of mine and explain why and how wearing face masks are important. By constructive and not being obstructive is the way forward. Mandate all hospital, businesses, etc. across the country to install hand washing hygiene facilities with running water and soap available at each entrances to these entities. With time, this should be extended to installing commercial scale far UV lamps which can sanitize any local environment to disinfect bacteria and viruses. Administering much to do with this part also. For example, government should use own resources, must start installing hand washing hygienic facility together with toilets facility at railway stations, bus station and all other public places. It is a government duty, as I mentioned in my previous video, to take care of the people. These hygienic measures are way overdue in most countries and are essential to help the public in control diseases and indeed for their dignity and convenience. Currently, this is one of the best way to spend taxpayers' money. So the government must do it, starting now. Government department and the armed forces employs more than 10% of the adult population in a given country. It must take them to work immediately to implement the mentioned and other protective humane work for the benefit of the public. And these folks have the expertise, personnel, resources and equipment to do so. So there's no reason why the government should instruct these folks to engage and starting constructing the above mentioned. So rather than staying in bunkers, let's begin this construction immediately using the government resources and the labor of government servants. In parallel, it is essential to implement the new nationwide program to prevent communicable diseases, which most countries does not have or not have an efficient one, especially for prevention of respiratory viral diseases with immediate effect. As we discussed in previous videos, those who have the weaker immune systems are the ones who easily contract the COVID-19 infection, develop complications, and indeed had the highest death rate. These were briefly discussed in details in the video 11 and video 12 in this series. Please watch these and contribute to this channel. These are highly economical ways to achieving this quickly across the country, which will minimize the disease spread without any military-like actions or further curfews going to need it. Time to open the economic activity gradually, including the banking services, markets, productions, public services, and supply chains across the country, and are currently totally paralyzed by lockdowns or curfews. This has led to people struggling to live and the collapsing economy. We will discuss ways of doing those things in the next video, and also specifically reliance on the evidence rather than a gut feeling in making decisions to overcome the current difficulties. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.